Guys, today we're going to continue with the search for the perfect stitch. Like I said, I'm a beginner and I think it's very fun, to follow me if you were to. If you are a specialist, then there's nothing I can teach you. This is just for the beginners, people like me that are stubborn and we need to learn something even if we don't learn it at a school or at some sewing club. So, like I said, I'm still searching for the perfect stitch because that's the thing you will be using the most when making your first steps into the world of sewing. Okay, so this is where we ended last time. I did a couple of things to the bobbing, to the needle and all that, to increase the chance to get the perfect straight stitch. I told you something about the settings, and but I told you that I'm still not really happy with the straight stitch that I got right now, whether it's because of the fabric or, but look, it zigzags a little bit. See that? Can you see that? It does zigzag a little bit. It's not completely straight. The other side is a little bit better, but still. So I looked around for other things that I can do, to increase the chance of getting even a better straight stitch. And one of the things that I found is replacing the bobbin holder, because apparently the bobbin holder, after a certain time, it will start to have less grip and start jiggle a lot. So I'm gonna add this, renew the bobbin holder, the bobbin case holder right there, and then see if that adds anything to the quality of the straight stitch. So guys, remember what I told you about this one? This one in specific, it needs to have a little bit of space to jiggle, tiny bit, but still holding this corner back. So this corner should not be able to rotate all the way. So anyway, just something that I told you about in the previous video. So I'm gonna take this bobbin case holder out, okay? And then I'm gonna add in the new one that I got. Make sure that you have the right model. I'm working on the Singer Heavy Duty. Make sure that you have the right model if you're going to do this also for yourself. So it's very important that when you tighten this back on, that between this corner right here, see this corner right here, and this the iron thing component right there, that in between the thread should slip easily with no troubles. Make sure that you test that somehow. So I'll show you my way of testing this right now. So guys, so these screws here, tighten them as strongly as you can, as tight as you can, but these should should go only so far as to let the thread enough space to escape through this corner and this. I'm sorry, I know I just told you that, but I decided to turn the light on to show it to you better and then say something about this. So anyway, so this is the new one that's in there. Look, the paint isn't ruined yet. That's the seal. And with this one, the paint is all gone. See? So now I'm going to add this back on. Remember, to get the thread of the bobbing through this opening, just leave it outside like this for now. And then I'm going to screw this back on. Oh, right. No, I was supposed to show you something, guys. I was supposed to show you whether the thread is able to go in between these two parts. Let's do that. So first of all, make sure that the thread of the bobbin goes through this section. See, you have here an opening through this. And now we need to test this part. I had it all loose right now because I was a little bit worried that maybe this bobbin was still too shaky. So just making sure that I dropped it in there in the right the right way. So now finally we're going to test the passage of the thread through this. All right, let's see what happens. It should go through there with no problems at all. Okay, there it is, guys. Can you see it? Still under the corner, and now it's gonna happen. There it is. All right, with no problems, I went through there. So I know that the tension on this one is at least okay for now. So guys, so this is back on there. This is still open. Like I said, make sure that the thread is sticking through this hole for now. You know, put this back on. You know how to do it with this thing. Drop it. Drop this thing while aligning this little shoe with where it should be. Okay, so now we're going to make the threads come together. So I need to be holding on this one. I can't do it with one hand, but don't mind the cats fighting. It's just what they do every day, all day. Okay, so there we have it. So now we need to get them under these little shoes. So get the shoe up again. So now we have two threads under this little shoe. Now we're going to close it. And now we're going to test if the new bobbin case holder improves anything on this stitch. Take a good look at it. This could also mean, maybe, if nothing changes, because now I've really tried everything to get it even better. This could also mean, and I have the thinnest needle because this is the thinnest fabric, see, that maybe the fabric is just too thin. Or one last thing I could do is go back to the tension, see what I can do there. So, but anyway, for now, let's see. Maybe the thread is too loose. Could also mean B. See how I can do that. So first, let's try this with the new bobbin. So it's on width 0, needle right in the middle, tension of 4. This is the lowest needle. I think it's, well, not really the lowest, but almost the lowest. I think it's number 75. I have 75 because the people where I bought my needles forgot to send me also a set of 60 or 65. So maybe I should go a little bit lower. So that's the next thing I will be trying. Make sure you watch the next video. Maybe I should go a little bit lower with my needles. If this still comes out weird, then I'll have to wait for my needle 65. But then again, I was just thinking that maybe I have my needles somewhere here, because I got some needles from our friend Tina and her mother, and I think these sent me some lower numbers too. Anyway, let's try this, and otherwise we're gonna play with, you know, a lower needle number, because like we said in the first video, the thinner the fabric, the finer the needle should be. So look at that. As you can see, there's the proof. This is the thread. This is the last stitch. Look, it's the same. It's still good, but I wasn't able to improve it. But this is still good. I mean, now the sewing machine is at least back to consistent, good stitch. See? This is not bad. To many people, this would be perfect. But to me, I don't know. I'm just trying to see if I can get it a little bit less wavy. I don't know if that's even a possible. I'm not really sure, but it's just my feeling that tells me try to see if this gets a little bit less wavy. But I mean, from an objective point of view, this is good stitch, and I should just leave it at that on both sides. See? And remember, guys, what I showed you in the previous video when it was a mess on both sides, mainly the bobbin here, right here. So the lower part of the bottom part of the fabric was always a mess. But now it's, like I said, consistent, and it's a good stitch. See? So what I did to get to this stitch is I'm working on the Singer Heavy Duty, the width on 0. I'm sorry, I have dry skin. It's winter. Needle position on the middle and the tension on 4. So now, and I renewed the bobbin case holder. See, this is the old one. And I'm working with a needle 55, and this is unbleached soft cotton. You can also go with unbleached stiff cotton. So remember, this is like the finest, most delicate fabric I've ever worked with so far. So maybe this is why the stitch is behaving how it's behaving. And again, I need to remind you guys, especially if you're a beginner, this is a good stitch. There's nothing wrong with this. This is good. And like I said, the sewing machine is consistent. Every time I turn it on and I try to do a straight stitch, it's still good. It has been different a couple of months. So that's why I stopped learning, because it was driving me crazy. I didn't know what to start. So I just, you know, like my grandma used to say, when you don't know what to start with God and you'll see where you end up. So I took a deep breath and I'm diving back into the world of sewing. So anyway, yeah, this is good for now. I'm happy. Yeah, I can do one thing. I can try to do the stitch with a lower number needle, see if that does change anything, or we can work with tension, see if that does anything, go up or go higher. And that's the two remaining things that I can try, you know, in the search for the perfect straight stitch. So guys, look at that. This is 8, this is tension 8, this one, this is 7, this is 6, this is 5, and as you can see, almost, well, I think you can fairly see there is no different at all. This is the front and this is the back. See? No different at all. So it's a consistent, good stitch on this delicate fabric. It's almost see-through. See that you can see the green of the mat that I have here right here, and now you can see the whiteness of the sewing machine. So it's almost see-through. It's a very delicate fabric, and I think we can now say safely that this is as good as it gets. With that, so now the only thing that I want to try is even a finer needle. That's the last thing that I will be showing you in the search for the perfect straight stitch on almost this very fine, almost see-through, fine, delicate, unbleached, soft cotton. I think this is good. I don't know what you guys think, those of you that know how to sew and are more, you know, advanced than we are here. Please let me know. Very, very honest opinion, because we're here to learn from each other. So please feel free. I don't have an ego when it comes to stuff that I don't know how to do. Open to suggestions, open to ideas, but I would say this is a nice, consistent, good stitch, considering the fabric I'm working with right now. But if you think it can be better, please let me know, and also let me know how. So guys, no, I think the finest needle that I have starts from 70. That's what I got from Tina and Dorothy and Baz, friends in the UK. So which means is that I'm going to stop here, this little tutorial that I'm sharing with you, and then order finer needles. I'm going to go for 60, 65 at least, and then continue this video. But you guys don't have to wait. You'll probably just see it in one go in one video. But for now, guys, if you're having troubles with your Singer heavy duty machine, if it starts to make those bird nests, like people call them, what you can do is go back to the basic, try to get a straight stitch from your machine, sewing machine, the Singer heavy duty, and from there, take it up to whatever level you need to go back to. So I think that's my advice from what I've been experiencing and seeing so far. If it starts to act up, there are so many things that you should have to check. Sometimes they can be very intimidating. So just go back to the basic. I don't want to sound corny, but really go back to the basic. If this thing had a factory reset button, it would have been perfect. But since there is no reset factory reset button, the reset factory button status state of this machine is something that you can do by putting the width on 0, the needle position in the middle, the tension on 4, and then it doesn't have to be soft cotton, just regular fabric, no crazy, no stretching, no, I don't know, no shiny fabric, just straight something, straight fabric, something that's really common, nothing too crazy. And you'd end up, when you do the checklist, you'd end up with cotton, whether bleached or unbleached, soft or more like stiff version, but you end up with cotton, mostly 100% cotton or 70 cotton and then 30% something else, but you have to end up in this direction. So then start to test whether you can get a straight stitch on that from your sewing machine, and I just gave you the settings for that. Of course, make sure that the machine is threaded correctly. You don't have to think about that. You have all the step numbers here that are guiding you. Make sure that you're using on cotton at least 70 or 75. If it's like almost see-through, like what I have, then use a needle between 60 and 65, go even lower. If all that doesn't work, the setting up here, the threading of the machine, the right needle, the right fabric, if all that doesn't work, make sure that you get the bobbin from the Singer brand. You can also go for these little ones, but sometimes they do give me troubles. These are just generic. So get the bobbins from the Singer Heavy Duty, and make sure that you renew your bobbin case holder. Especially if you're stubborn like me and you tried to give it a little bit more attention by breaking this seal and start twisting it, which it's there for. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. It's there for. But maybe that should be your last resort that you go to. And maybe you should just leave it as it is. And because this didn't help me. It just made things worse. So I ended up getting a new bobbin case holder. And now I have the machine back to basic, back to what you would call the factory reset button, which is this. At least I can get now a straight stitch that's like this. It's consistent every time, and it's on both sides of the fabric, as you can see. It's good. So that's it. The fact that I still hang up on the right stitch is that, do you guys see those dots? Little dots? I'm just trying to see if I can smooth that out. So that's what I'm doing right now, and that's why I'm saying that the last thing that I want to try is go for even a finer needle, considering the fabric. And if I don't see any improvement, then this is the best. Then this is as good as it gets for this fabric, for what I'm doing right now. And that's what you will see in the next segment. I don't know, I'll have to order the needle today, and with the craziness of COVID and stuff, and the mail service that keeps telling me and Mike that whatever we ordered is going to be pushed even forward, pushed back another 5 or 6 days. And it's just here in Holland, stuff that we order here in Holland. So it's really getting crazy. So it means that you probably guys will see a next video. Well, no, for me, it will arrive in a week, but for you guys, it will be in this video. So also, guys, please don't forget to watch part 1, sewing lesson, part 1, the video before this one. I think this is going to be the second video, maybe a third video. Yeah, no, I already have 2 videos. So go check these out. And this is going to be the third video that you're watching right now. So also watch the previous ones. Again, this is for the beginners. If you're a professional or you have more experience, then there is nothing I can teach you. This is for the beginners like me. So that's it for now. Well, now it's Valentine's Day, so me and Mike feel like sushi. We love going to one of our favorite sushi bars here in Amsterdam, but we haven't been outside for a year. Believe it or not, this is just what it is. This is a fact. We haven't been outside for a year, except when we go to the vet or to the family doctor. So we really miss sushi, and today is just a perfect day to enjoy that. Give ourselves something that we love, enjoy eating, and that's sushi. So that's what we're gonna do. You guys out there, I know this is gonna be later, but nevertheless, when you see this, we hope you've had a wonderful Valentine's Day together. I know, I mean, what are we, 12? But it's just one of these days that you go along with. Anyway, guys, see you in the next segment. All right, we're back. Well, for you, it's just one video. Oh my God, I think this video is going to be very long. Listen, guys, let's just have fun. I mean, we're learning to sew. Just have fun. Don't see it as an obstacle or a mountain you have to climb, but just something fun, adding to your knowledge library. That's fun. I love that. So whatever kind of knowledge that I find, I just try to absorb it and add it to my library, just like you do with books. So anyway, so last time I spoke to you, I told you that I have to find some finer needles because this is a finer fabric. And I told you that although I'm now so happy that I got the sewing machine back to a good starting point again after it was acting weird and giving me all kind of bird nest. Now I'm on this level again on both sides, which is perfect as it is. But I told you that I still see a little bit of wavy straight stitches, as you can see. If you have good eyes, you see that they're still a little bit wavy. See? The more you go outside, the higher the tension. So, and inward is around 4. So the more you go outside, the higher. Anyway, so I told you that I can do only one thing to find out if I can make the stitch even more beautiful by using even a finer needle, just to see if the needle is the problem, because this is the most finest fabric that I find, not in quality per se, but more like in structure. It's very fine. Look, it's almost see-through. So I told you that I'm gonna find a fine needle to go with this fabric. Remember, guys, lesson 1, every fabric needs one kind of thread and a matching kind of needle. Depends on the number. You have to match the number, the thickness of the thread, the number of the needle, and then the kind of fabric. Those 3 need to match the trinity when it comes to sewing. So now I was able to find number 60. I wasn't able to find the Singer needle for some reason. It gets very hard here in Holland to find stuff for Singer. There's only one store that I found that sometimes sells something specifically for the Singer. Heavy duty. So now I found these universal number 60. I'm going to use it on this fabric and see how the stitch is. If the stitch doesn't change, then I've really tried everything and I'm just going to give up and accept that this is the best as it can get for this fabric that I will be using. Okay, because I think if the fabric was to be a little bit thicker, the stitch would be better than this. If you can get it better than this. Listen to me, I'm starting to get a little bit cocky. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna exchange, put the number 60 in and then see how it works with tension 4, needle position in the middle, and then the width is just 0. Okay, and it's straight stitch on unbleached soft cotton, number 60. So there's the old one. And if you're confused, don't worry. Just buy a time machine and go back in time to when you were 20. And then you can read the number on this needle. So no worries. I mean, come on, honestly, guys. Why not on this side? No, on this side, the thinnest side. That's where they put the number. Anyway, but now I know that this is 60. I just took it out of here. So I'm going to put it there. All right, guys, there it is. Let's try this with the finest needle, number 60. Okay, so there's the end result. Let's compare it with what we had so far. That's the end result. So this is what we had, and this is what we got. See, this is worse. So this is definitely not fabric that's how do you say that? This needle number 60 is definitely not what you should be using on unbleached soft cotton, because look, and it's good, it's still good. I mean good as in you don't have, I'm not getting any bird nests anymore, but this is not the kind of stitch I was talking about. What's that on my finger? See? So which means I will have to go back to number 75. Look on this one. This one, you read the number on this side, not on the thin side. So, which means we have confirmed now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? We have confirmed now. We did a lot of research. We have confirmed now that unbleached soft cotton needs number 75. Maybe 70, 75 if you cannot find 70. Definitely not lower, because look what happens on the tension 4, and that's the regular, that's the universal setting. I can do one thing, see if I can get the tension higher, see what happens. Really, guys, don't think too light about this stage in you learning to sew. This is very important. Otherwise, you're gonna have to, stop and start all over again. And that's what I did. That's why I've learned my lesson. So, guys, judge for yourself. This is number 4. This is number 6. This is number 8. Number 8 is more straight, right?
Number 8 is straight.
Number 8 is straight. Yeah, number 8 is definitely a little bit straight. Less curves. So anyway, it means that it doesn't get better. This is the best that we can do. So which means that I'm gonna go back to, or maybe I will stay on this 60.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Just keeps getting better. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to 75, since it doesn't make a difference, and since the next stage will be learning to make my first shirt. I got the pattern. I'm just gonna cut out the pattern and put it on fabric. So, which means we're gonna be sewing more layers of fabric. Which means, just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna go back, since it doesn't really matter that much in this case for this specific fabric. I'm gonna go back to needle 75. That's what I do. So which means that this lesson that's what I live for. Yeah. Which means that this lesson about the needle, trying to match the right needle with the right fabric, the right setting, has now ended, you guys, and we're going to continue to working with patterns from paper.
Exciting.
Exciting times ahead. All right. So go try out what I've shared with you so far, and how do you say that? Practice.
Good weekend.
And a good weekend. Yes. All right. Bye, guys. Guys, look, I made that for the monitor that we got. We made a video about that if you don't know what this is. So I made something for it as a protection sleeve. And I think I did a good job. One thing, so I was just cleaning up to store my sewing machine again. I just wanted to say, guys, this is how I always end. This pedal all the way down, and the needle all the way down too. This is for me the safest the safest mode to end in. And this is how I store the sewing machine. That way you can never accidentally hurt yourself with a needle or break the needle. See, it's all in place.